What's up, Love Squad? It's your girl, and I'm back today with another cooking video. And today I'll be making dressing for you guys. And the ingredients I'll be using are buttermilk, cornmeal mix, celery, onion, red bell pepper for my dressing, sage, poultry seasoning, eggs. I'll be using milk to make my cornbread, and as well as some chicken broth. And I'm gonna be boiling some chicken thighs to give it that broth a more intense flavor. I tend to like to use real chicken when I'm doing my dressing, because for me, I make chicken dressing. Okay, and so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and prepare our cornbread by adding our cornmeal mix in our bowl, along with an egg, some milk, and some butter. And we're gonna give that a stir, and we're gonna go ahead and put that in our oven and cook that off. Okay, this is about the consistency that I want my cornbread. I added to my cornmeal, I added milk, egg, butter, and milk, egg, and butter. Okay, and so now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and spray my casserole dish with a little butter. And I'm gonna pour this cornbread mix into my casserole dish. And I'm bake my bread until it's golden brown. And then I'll be right back. Okay guys, I went ahead and cleaned my chicken thighs off. And what I did was add my fresh vegetables, which were red bell pepper, onion, carrots, and celery. And what I'm doing is I'm making a stock. I'm making chicken stock. So if this seems a little bit weird, don't let it throw you guys. I promise you it's going to be delicious. So what I'm going to do now is add some black pepper to that. And here's the kicker. When I presented this dish, I said I was going to be using chicken stock. This is where that chicken stock comes in at, guys. I'm gonna add this Knorr chicken stock to that, and all it's going to do is intensify that chicken flavor. You want to get as much chicken flavor in your dressing as possible. So that is one of my secrets that I'm giving you guys today. When you're making your homemade stock for your dressing, incorporate a little bit of the seasoning stock in that as well. As you see, I didn't put any salt in that, and that is because sometimes your stock can be super salty. Some people use bouillon cubes, and I can't. Sometimes I do that, but today I'm going to be using the chicken stock. And so if you do want to add some salt to it, wait until the chicken stock is fully cooked, taste it, and then do it then. Now that my bread is done, what I'm going to do is, because a lot of people use old bread to make their dressing because it's drier. This bread is fresh, so what I'm going to do is dry my bread out a little bit more by taking my bread, crumbling it up in a foil baking pan, and putting it back in the oven and let it dry out a little bit more. So now that I've crumbled my cornbread in my pan, I'm just going to put it back in my oven at 385 for about 15 to 20 minutes, because I want to get this bread is full of moisture. I want some of that moisture to dry out of this bread a little bit. Okay, since my bread was so fresh, I did leave it in there for another 20-25 minutes, and now it has a drier consistency to it. We're just going to start pulling this dressing together. And now to my cornbread, I'm just gonna add my diced celery, onion, and red bell pepper. It's about 1/3 of a cup of celery, a half a cup of onion, and about 3 tablespoons of red bell pepper. To that mix, I am going to add my poultry seasoning. I don't do a lot of measuring. I mostly eyeball. my seasonings because I've done this for so long. So I'm gonna give you a rough estimate. That's probably a good tablespoon and a half of sage, and about a good tablespoon and a half of poultry seasoning, and about a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna beat 1 large egg and add it to it because I only have just a little bit of dressing. When I'm cooking holiday meals, I make triple this amount of dressing, so this is kind of rare to see me add just this little bit of amount of ingredients together. It's weird, but I'm doing this for you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna stir that in. And the reason why I added my egg first was because I'm gonna add some broth, that chicken stock that I made, and it already has the salt content in it, so I'm not gonna add any salt to this cornbread mixture. So now I'm gonna add that homemade stock in there. Add it slowly. Give it a stir, because my motto is you can always add, but you can't subtract your ingredients out of your food. So I basically just start slow adding my ingredients, and I'm going to continue to add that stock. And the difference between stock and broth, guys, is that stock has vegetables, the carrots, the onions, the celery infused in it, whereas chicken broth does not. So I prefer the stock over the broth. And I'm just going to keep incorporating that into this cornbread mixture. Okay, at this point my dressing is the consistency that I like for mine to be. A lot of people at this point add sausage and all of the other things that they love in their dressing. They add it in their dressing. For me, I just like straight chicken dressing. This will work for me. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna basically spray my casserole dish with some non-stick cooking spray. Just lightly spray that. And I'm gonna pour my dressing into my casserole dish. And like I said, guys, I'm sorry, I usually make 3 times as much dressing for the holidays for my family, so this is very odd for me. So I'm just gonna smooth that out. Okay. And I'm gonna bake my dressing for about an hour. I'm gonna check it in about 45 minutes, but I'm gonna bake it until it's very firm when I stick a knife through it, and that will let me know that it's done. And when my dressing gets to that point, I'll pull it out and show you guys the end result. Okay guys, my dressing was in the oven for about 55 minutes. I pulled it out just shy of an hour because, like I said, this is the thinnest dressing I've ever made. So you know, I did the test and it's done in the middle, it's done completely through. So I would love for you guys to try this recipe. Don't be afraid. Go ahead and just do this, and it's wonderful, and I think you guys will enjoy it a lot. So until next time, Love Squad.